Hey everybody, good evening and welcome. You are on the cutting edge and I am Buck Wild. I was looking through some of the videos that I had shot previously, and one of the videos that I did was previously about the Gerber Slim Sada. That's the one here on the bottom. And excuse me, one of the viewers noted that they had just ordered one of these off of Blade HQ for 22 bucks. Obviously, you still have to pay shipping and tax. 22 bucks. I'll come back to these other two here in a second, but let's talk about this. First of all, it's Gerber. Okay, so you've got Gerber quality. Yeah, it's probably going to be made in China or made in Taiwan, but you've got this beautiful D2 blade, sheep's foot blade with some belly on it. It's a frame lock, and the lockup on this is really good, and you've got this beautiful micarta with these great red barrel spacers, back spacer standoffs. I mean, this knife, when I picked it up, was going for 50 bucks. So if you liked, and you can go back and look at the review, if you like this knife, I really do. If you like it and you want to get your hands on one, great opportunity to go to Blade HQ and get one. Okay, so that's pretty much why this one is in the review. Okay, let's look at a couple of the others. So the one here on the top, obviously you're familiar with because I've been talking a lot about it. The CJRB Pyrite Alt, and somebody else had mentioned on one of the videos that they had just purchased one of these, and I was looking at it and I picked it up, and it's doing it now. There's a little bit of shake, and it's like, you can see there's like a little bit of movement here, right? So I opened it up and I check side to side, lock rock, nothing like that, right? But you still have a little bit of looseness here. And so what I'm gonna do, probably since it's doing this again, I tightened up the pivot screws and that took care of the problem. But since it's starting to do it again, I'm obviously gonna have to put some Loctite on that. Okay, so if you do pick this up, just something that you're aware of, you might have to deal with. One thing I did notice on the other one that I have, the black one with the metal handles, and I've used that one quite a bit, I've not had any issues at all with any looseness whatsoever. I haven't tightened anything down with Loctite or anything. It doesn't sour me on this knife, but again, you know, if I'm going to recommend it and say you should go get one, I want to tell you, like, this is something you may encounter, right? Okay. So the other thing that I was going to mention about this, and call it the duh factor, or maybe it's my age. Okay, so that's the button lock. We're familiar with the button lock, and you've probably got a button lock knife somewhere if you're watching this video. And so that's what it looks like, right? And very nice mechanism. I was looking at my knife here that I was carrying this morning, and this is the Hogue EXA01, I think, right? It's an auto. Well, look at that. I'll be doggone, like, big duh factor, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a button lock. So, of course, my first thought after that was, okay, at CJRB, when are you guys coming out with an auto? Asking for a friend. Okay, so now for the last one that was on the table here. This is the Kaiser Mini Roach. This has the black G10 scales, the 154 cm blade, nice deep carry clip. You've got the pivot collar that has this, I don't know, what is that, dark earth, right? And then the matching dark earth back spacer, I guess. Not a large knife. Woo! Hold on, I got too much stuff on the table. All right, so you can see there, it is not a large knife. That blade comes in, the edge, the cutting edge comes in well under 3 inches. You know, depending on how the cop wants to measure it, it's at least a 3-inch blade, but the cutting edge is under 3 inches. All right, the thing I really like about this knife is it really is sort of a hard use little folder. The lockup on it is just fine. My fat fingers out of the way. And the action is really good. You can remove this flipper tab if you want to and go to the pinch flick, but like I said before, I enjoy having that extra grip. And the only thing about this that was, you know, questionable was that the scales were kind of rough, and so getting it in and out of the pocket sometimes was a bit of a challenge. But I took some real fine grit sandpaper and just sort of sanded the edges of it so that a lot of that roughness, the majority of that roughness, is gone. And great, you know, I don't want to beat the crap out of it, but it's a great little hard use folder, and better that than its big brother, the Kaiser Roach. I have to admit, you know, when I first saw the big Roach here, I was not all that taken by the shape. It just seemed too bulky. But once I picked it up and had it in hand and felt the ergonomics, which are great, and then, you know, you've got this beautiful satin finish S35 VN blade and this nice little Roach right there, right? And then I don't know if I mentioned this, because I'm sure I had this in a video somewhere. I got this bad boy for 40 bucks in a pawn shop. So like I said, you want to stop in every once in a while and see what they got, because if you don't know, if you don't ask, you don't know, right? So, and this is a great knife. I love carrying this, but for hard use, this has turned out to be a great little knife, and really happy that I purchased it. I think I picked this up off of Amazon, and I don't remember exactly what I paid for it at the time. This is probably about 75. So you're looking at about 10 more than what you're gonna pay for the CJRB Pyrite Alt. And this is a beautiful knife, don't get me wrong, but you're gonna get this great 154 CM steel, and just the ergos on this are fantastic. So 3 great knives for you to consider for everyday carry. But absolutely the deal of the day while it lasts is this Gerber Slim Sada with the D2 and the micarta and these really nice barrel spacers and whatnot at Blade HQ for 22 bucks. So this one went a little long. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great evening. Good night.